on, but I wonder whether we can't set up some kind of vaguely subversive practice whereby at some agreed occasion occurrence when something happens, we consider some subversive activity. Might be just bursting a balloon next week.
These weird gadgets where people wander around with these things strapped to themselves, which are basically lie detectors with a GPS unit. But what's interesting is that it's not about right or wrong anymore. It's actually about what's happening during a walk. It starts to represent people in a different way, and I think this is the point I'm trying to get at. This is what happens when you overlay all the people's tracks on top of each other, and you start seeing a huge mass of these annotations and people making sense of this place, right?
You can see this. It's very quick. Okay, so this is actually the sun. NASA actually records the sun. They have a website, and then they put it online, and they call it real-time movies. It seems to me to be rather kind of hair-splitting to say that this light had come, as I said before, from a process which started 15 million years ago, and then I played it to you like a day later, and suddenly it's not live.
This sort of rendition of the space of the firework, the physical space, we have a nice kind of set of classifications where people have really gone for some, like trying to look through there and extrapolate bits of summarized structure and say, right, there's these three classes of thing that happen.
Another way that you get your film seen. Online we had, so we can put that down. We'll come to some more versions of that. What are other ways that you see films? Yep, DVD, that's one. Yep, TV. Well, TV is that box in the corner of the room at the moment, but that's all changing anyway. Any other ways that you see films?
Mobile
yep.
devices of various sorts.
Yep, call it a mobile device. What about, I sat next to a guy on the tube today and he was watching a film. PSPs, yep.
Why are screens square? I don't really know, and I would find it interesting to try and trace back the evolution of film as a creation medium, as a distribution medium. Why are these pieces of paper square? Because the boxes, they come in a square. Why are the boxes square? Because the machines that are used to make the boxes are square. The planes and lathes. You can start to unpick the layers and find out to what extent what we can create and what we can share is completely programmed by the tools that we make.
If you had like loads of, everyone had a Wi-Fi phone that was a Wi-Fi node, then we wouldn't actually need any other network infrastructure in a city like London, because people would just connect through each other, and it would all be free.
So it's great. I get a free camera with my contract. I mean, you sign some little piece of paper and you get a camera with it. I mean, it's beautiful.
You still pay for your contract. I mean, how long do you have it? If you can buy a nice proper camera for that money.
You can't dial your friend on the camera.
Yeah.
With a Wi-Fi phone, you could, and the net would be free.
So persuade them.
I think
what the manufacturers want is everybody to have an iPod to watch small movies, to have a phone to download stuff like video tones and ringtones, and to have a camera. I mean, they want you to buy more and more devices.
Although I'm not doing much with my computer, I'm just standing there and displaying my image. I feel like I'm interacting quite a lot with them, and it's a very kind of deep interaction if you stand in this regime country and the policeman is walking past you and just don't give a shit.
We use chat in two ways. We used it as an audience engagement, which you'll hear about here. So you can see the kind of setup there. We have live video mixer. It's not that different to your regular kind of broadcast setup, really. It's just that you've got a couple of things plugged into the internet instead of them being straight video feeds. And we use these sort of instant messaging as sort of background channel communication between the kind of technicians, the producer and the director, so that we can kind of problem solve and address things behind the scenes of actually the audience chat interface. And I think that's really been a really important aspect of every project that we've done that has involved more than one site, is having a kind of background channel where you can kind of discuss things with your technical people on the other side.
One important thing I just want to mention, I mean, this all comes from, this is how I started making films. I learned on 16mm and basically made my paper edits at school. And we were taught of how to make these kind of lists and really write it nicely down. The same thing you can basically make with EDLs and online environments such as Wiki. And this is very much an old way of getting back to a kind of an old school film edit, which you can apply when you go through this book. I give it around. You see quite some strange old stuff, but these kind of rules, they are very helpful if you would like to establish a kind of a collective, collaborative approach of filmmaking.
Sky was a project I did about 3 years ago, which was a cloud of 1,000 balloons filled with electromagnetic sensors and mobile phones. The idea was that this thing floated up into the sky, responding to the electromagnetic fields, giving us some sensation of the topography of the electromagnetic space. And while it was up in the sky, we could phone into it. And the action of phoning, because you're phoning in to listen to these electromagnetic fields, the action of phoning the cloud actually changed the electromagnetic fields up there because of the mobile phones. And so the thing you were trying to observe, you were actually changing in the process of observing it. This was down at Greenwich Park, just above the Royal Observatory. So these are the electromagnetic sounds that you can hear. They're natural. These are the sounds that have been bouncing around our atmosphere for the last millions of years. We only just recently invented radios in order to pick them up.
Okay, I want you to flesh out this idea of your audience a little bit more. I like the notion of membership and the fact that you're questioning actually what does that mean. Who are going to be your members? The key institutions. So are they the key people organising those conferences? Then there's another network, isn't there, of the speakers they get to come to that conference.
Let's put it on. I'm having
Careful.